Hey guys, well, I'd just like to try something a little different here. Since we're kind of under lockdown, I decided to go on a field trip by myself. So what I did is I went out to the north end of Grand Lake, and this is the Grand Lake Substation. Belongs to Presque Isle Electric, and it's fed by Wolverine Power, which is a co-op. Wolverine's got their 69,000 volt transmission line coming into this. You'll see a power transformer and all that stuff. So let me see if I can't flip this around so you guys can kind of see what's going on here. Okay, first off, if you look down the lines there, this is Wolverine's incoming 69,000 volt transmission line. It goes for quite a ways. You notice the glass insulators. Okay. From there, the line goes right into the substation. If I can kind of back off a little bit, give you a view of that. The line comes down into this structure right here, and this steel structure here on top, you'll actually see what's known as a GOAB, which is a gang-operated air brake switch up top. Moving on to the left of that, if you can see on the back side, the orange high side fuses. That's really the only protection for this bad boy, which is the power transformer. Most modern substations today have something other than just fuses. They'll have circuit breakers and things like that with CTs and PTs and everything to protect this guy. But with this older substation, all we have is those high side fuses. Very similar to the cutout that you're used to working with already. But here is the power transformer. This is taking that 69,000 on the high side and dropping it down to 7,200 12,470 for Presque Isle Electric's distribution. The secondary of this guy, that power transformer, you can see that it goes to these bars up to this back half of the substation, which is actually Presque Isle's territory there. Now there's an awful lot going on there. The three units behind the power transformer, these are voltage regulators. And you can tell by looking at the dial on them and the fact that they have three bushings on the top. They have the source, the load, and the source load bushing on that. So a lot of electric companies will put voltage regulators out in the field. Here with Presque Isle, they don't put them out in the field, they put them all in the substation. Alpena Power is a lot like that too. So those are your three voltage regulators, and that you can, if you look for those in the utility tech program, you can see the regulator bypass switches on the front side of that back steel superstructure. Now notice all the tubing that's up there. Those are actually all the conductors. Instead of running wire in substations, a lot of times they run tubing in that. On the back side of that superstructure, you will see some of the station arresters, and in the back you're going to see these are reclosures, some of the protection scheme for the secondary circuits. Now, Grand Lake Substation has three active secondary circuits coming off of that. There's room over on this side here to add a little bit more. And if you look very carefully in the back, you will see some regular meters that are up there. You can probably see it right next to that column, this column holding up all that steel superstructure. You'll see those three vertical meters. There's another set identical to that down on the other end there as well. And you will see the shack house here. Now for upgrade purposes, if they ever do some automation in here, this would house all of the protective relays that would be controlling the circuit breakers, which we don't have in this substation. We just have the high side fuses, and then of course reclosures protecting the distribution circuits coming out of the substation. So it's kind of a nice day today. Not a whole lot more going on with this substation, but hopefully we will continue on, and I'll get some more. Oh, another thing, if you notice, there's no overhead lines leaving this substation. Most substations like this, they tend to go underground, at least to get out to where they can mount the poles. So the transmission line, 69,000 volt from Wolverine, is coming in. That's all overhead, and then it all leaves this substation. The distribution voltages are at underground, and from there it goes to underground pad mount transformers, and eventually, I don't know, probably a good 10-15 miles from here, as the wire goes, is going to be where my house is, and I'm at the tail end of the Grand Lake 3 substation on there. Roy's probably going to cover the pole numbering schemes for co-ops. Those are pretty standardized and all that stuff. But there is a numbering scheme for the poles, so you can determine what circuit it is, how many poles down from where the three-phase stops and it goes to a single-phase takeoff, and things like that. So there is a method to their madness on there. Another thing I want to show you is if you look up top, you'll see these lightning rods on top of the superstructure. You'll see them pretty much all over. Now, sometimes they have little baskets on top. These are just lightning rods by themselves. And there's two schools of thought on the lightning rods for protection. One school of thought is that it gives the lightning an actual place to strike with a nice braided 4-aught ground wire going down to the grounding grid that's on there. Other people believe that it actually bleeds off the static electricity, so the lightning doesn't even strike it. So this has been out here for a while. There are trees that are taller, there are poles that are taller, but I would say that whichever school of thought you believe to, it obviously works because we keep using them. So that's about it for this substation. Like I said, it's kind of small, and I'm going to see if I can't try to get some more. And just in case you happen to get this, make sure you call this number and report suspicious activity that I've been out here videotaping their substation. As usual, guys, take care, be good to each other. See ya.